Hey everyone out there, and welcome to the only show that is being investigated by the NCAA, Jersey Boy Sports Talk. Now, CB's not here. He got concussed last week. Still went on with the show, so big props to him there. But like I said, we're being investigated by the NCAA now, and that's not good. We're still in the same boat as Michigan with our concussion problem. I'm back, thank God, and I'm here with Snowball. How you doing out there?
And now the MLB is going to have to investigate in problems with baseball and concussions, thanks to CB. So.
Okay. Well, it was the NCAA, so they might have to test you for a concussion too.
Okay.
So, as always, like us on Facebook, Jersey Boy Sports Talk with Nick Bogata, CB Garrett, and Matt Stolball. Follow us on Twitter at JB Sports Talk. And phone number for tonight is the same as usual. Now 862-400-6461. Now, I was not on the show last week, but that did not stop Snowball and CB from trashing me, almost no end.
You gotta do it. It's just part. You just gotta do it.
Yeah.
You take advantage when Nick's not here.
Yeah, and you know what? I still gave it a listen the next day. So I do have some criticism for you guys. Unfortunately, CB's not here to hear this. But I'll just let you know what I thought of the show. First of all, you guys were in the college football segment, and you reported a score as 0-0. I'm sorry, but we live in America. Any comments on that?
No, I guess it just kind of naturally slipped out. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You really had to criticize me on that? Come on.
I don't know.
Come on.
These get better as we go along. First of all, second of all now, there was absolutely no love for Everton. That hurt me deeply. Everton's been doing pretty well. I forget who they just drew last week, but now they're about mid-table, moving up. Obviously, we have the break for international play now. But still, no. Where's the love, Snowball?
I don't like Everton, and you know that. And we don't talk about soccer really when you're not here. I don't think we talked about any soccer in the show.
Yeah, we need to make a change for that. Okay.
I don't think the audience wants it. I mean, you did tell me that we are getting some international guys listening to our show.
Yeah, we were checking out the numbers this week. Actually, 2% of our listeners are from Spain. So, hola to you guys out there.
If you you can come message us for Infinity Sports Network if you want us to talk about soccer more.
Yeah, and
otherwise, I think we'll just stick to.
And I do speak some Spanish, so ¿Cómo estás?
That
was pretty good.
Very fluent, I guess.
Now, Snowball, you also said, quote, Sanchez can carry the Eagles, unquote. I did not see that at all. I think it's absurd to say Sanchez and carry in the same sentence. Both UNCB did use the R word multiple times. That's just unacceptable.
The R word?
The R word in the NFC East. That's not acceptable at all.
Oh, you mean Redskins? Oh.
Well, you just said it again. Now we have to kick you off the show. Let's try and move this down the list. They accused me of hating baseball. That's not true at all. I love my Pittsburgh Pirates. I love baseball. Although, who's Corey Kluber?
Who's Corey Kluber?
I really do not know who Corey Kluber is. I'm sorry.
He's a pitcher on the Indians.
Apparently he won the Cy Young.
He did the AL wins, and I think was third in ERA. We're going to talk about Cy Youngs, I think. MLB awards.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
And speaking of Cy Youngs, apparently you don't know the NL Cy Young. You called him Clayton Kershaw.
It was a joke. And if you clearly listened, you could tell it was a joke.
Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, their homer statement was about the Mets. The Mets aren't even playing right now. I felt like
we're both Met fans. You said it's a homer statement. We let you do your Pittsburgh stuff. Give us a break here.
Okay.
Come on.
And finally, the last couple. Snowball tried on multiple occasions to be funny. He said, Juan hell of a catch. I think it was Juan Lagares, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was terrible. CB absolutely disgraced the Bro of the Week segment by giving it to a doping badminton player. That's not what the award symbolizes. It's supposed to be given to a total bruh every week who does something significant. So I am going to be like the NCAA here and revoke that trophy from that badminton player. It will be vacated just like the 2005 Heisman, which we all know does not exist. Snowball effect is not everyone's favorite segment. I should point that out. CB put Mike Vrabel on Who's Hot, Who's Not as not. I don't know about you, but I felt bad for the guy. I don't think we should be criticizing him for getting his house broken into. And I'm scared for those robbers because now you have to go up against a 300-pound linebacker, two-time Super Bowl champion, former Steeler, great player. You also mentioned talking to our producers about having me do my own show. First of all, we don't have producers, and second of all, I won't do my own show. And finally, probably the biggest criticism of all, there was an alarming lack of Costa Papanikolaou coverage, and that hurt.
We're both not Greek.
Okay, whatever. And now, to stop boring you guys with that, move on to some headlines. Melvin Gordon of Wisconsin. It only took him 3 quarters and 25 carries to break the all-time FBS record for rushing yards. He broke LaDainian Tomlinson's record. And he rushed for 408 yards on 25 carries against a Nebraska defense that was ranked 20th in the country. Snowball, was this surprising at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how someone can run for 400 plus in 25 carries. I don't care who you are. I mean, sorry, whether it was Reggie Bush, Monte Ball, I mean, Adrian Peterson, even in college, nobody's done that, and it's pretty insane, especially against a good Nebraska. The Nebraska team was not bad. This isn't against like San Jose State or something. This was against a good, solid Big Ten team. I'm shocked. I can't imagine running for 400 yards. I mean, that's insane.
Yep.
I really don't have any words to describe his performance. I mean, my hat's off to him. I mean, I don't know if anyone could beat that, to be honest, in the Division I. I know that he didn't break the NCAA record, but breaking the FBS record is still pretty good. So my hat's off to him. Congrats, Gordon. You could have just made yourself a Heisman candidate in one game.
Yeah, he'll definitely be punching his ticket to New York City. If he had stayed in for the fourth quarter, I think he definitely would have broken the record.
Yep.
He broke the all-time FBS record. Now the all-time Division I record is held by, the name is escaping me, but it was North Carolina A&T. The record was about 630 yards or 430 yards, and then the all-time NCAA record is held by a Division III school, and that was about 460. So he could have easily broken that. He only had 25 carries. LaDainian Tomlinson had the previous mark with about 40 carries. So that just goes to show how great of a runner Melvin Gordon actually is. And like I said, this is a Nebraska team that was ranked 20th in the country in defense. Wisconsin, number 20, upset number 16 Nebraska 59-24. We'll be getting into more college coverage later on in the show. But it is important to note, number 5 Alabama knocked off number 1 Mississippi State 25-20. We'll see how that affects the rankings. On to baseball now. Your boy Clayton Kershaw not only won the NL Cy Young, but he also won the NL MVP. Was that a surprise to you?
Not a surprise at all. I don't think anybody else in the NL who deserved it more than him. He had a season that was really, I mean, an unforgettable season. You know, had 21 wins, only 3 losses throughout the whole year, played most of the year except the beginning of the year, and had an ERA of 1.77. That's insane. That is, I mean, it's not Bob Gibson insane, but it's pretty close. I don't know anybody who's going to have, I don't know if somebody could have a better year than that. I know people are going to say, oh, the NL is easier because pitchers bat. If he was in the AL, it'd be a little tougher. I mean, no. He's the best pitcher in the league. He's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. He's got 3 Cy Youngs, and he's not even I mean, he's still pretty young. He's like 26 or 27. I'll look at the exact age right now. I mean, he is just unreal. 26. He's 26 and he has 3 Cy Youngs. That's insane. And an MVP. If he gets that ring, he's top 5 all time. I'm saying it now.
Now, is it fair after his postseason performance? Is it fair to draw parallels between Clayton Kershaw and Peyton Manning, where two of the greatest regular season players in their respective sports, but generally can't get it done come playoff time?
I think it's fair. I can totally get him. He completely choked in the postseason. I mean, he really choked in the postseason. Same with Trout. I mean, look at Trout. We'll talk about him in a sec. Trout, our AL MVP, was terrible in the postseason. So I think, yeah, you could. That's definitely a fair statement to say. I mean, Kershaw's played long enough. He's been in enough postseason. He's been in enough postseasons to, you could say that statement. But Kershaw's still really young. You just got to give him some time, and I want to see him get a ring. I think he's talented enough and deserves to have a ring on his finger.
And like you mentioned, Mike Trout also won AL MVP. He was the youngest unanimous MVP winner ever in the MLB. Did you expect Trout to win?
No, I really thought Victor Martinez was going to win. I did not think that Trout's average was high enough for him to win it. I'm going to say this constantly. I understand he was amazing and everything else when it came to fielding. Those stolen bases didn't go down a lot actually. They weren't what we are used to seeing with Trout. His average was only 287 and dropped from 323 to 287. He only had 16 stolen bases. Had the most strikeouts, I think, in the majors, but did lead the AL in runs and RBIs, which definitely helped him. Was a good fielder, had 36 home runs. I mean, Victor Martinez, the main reason he probably was not chosen to be the AL MVP is because he's a DH and not an everyday fielding player. And, writers who vote on these awards are critical about that. They don't like to pick DHs. But I still think that Victor Martinez should have won, whether he was a DH or not. But I will still congratulate Trout because he still had a pretty good year.
And you know what? I was thinking that Trout would win just because it's a bigger name. These votes tend to be subjective a lot with baseball writers. So Trout is just a bigger name. And now what this causes is it's just going to be a whole bunch of knee-jerk reactions where everyone's going to be asking whether Trout's a Hall of Famer. The kid's barely old enough to drink. Okay, we can save that discussion. But it is important to note his WAR in 493 games is 28.2. Just some people just a couple people he's higher than. Paul Konerko, Alfonso Soriano, Mo Vaughn, Shin-Soo Choo, Prince Fielder, and Benito Santiago in 493 games. Now, this is from SB Nation. The full list of players that he's better than in 493 games in terms of WAR is over 15,000. And a lot of those guys are all-stars. So, Trout is going to be a phenomenal player throughout his career. And I expected him to win this MVP, whether he deserved it or not. I was surprised that it was unanimous, though. Now, on the NL side, Kershaw did beat out McCutchen, who came in third, and Giancarlo Stanton came in second. Both very deserving. But Kershaw just had a dominant season. But speaking of Giancarlo Stanton, did you hear if it was official or not? His contract?
I don't think it's official yet. They're still working on a few things.
Yeah, so Giancarlo Stanton will be signing a $300 million, give or take, $300 million contract with the Miami Marlins. What is your take on that, Snowball? Because I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
That's insane. Is A-Rod still the highest? Is A-Rod still...
No.